First, I just want to thank Warren and Betsy for being here today. Warren and Betsy Talbot of Married with Luggage. Thank you guys for being on llworldtour.com.
Hi there. Thanks a
lot. First of all, let's just start with kind of telling people who you are. Kind of like me and like many people in your 20s and 30s, you were going downstream, doing the same old thing as we all seem to do, especially in America. What happened? How did you break out of it? How did Married with Luggage get started?
Well, it started, there's a long story and a short story. We'll give you the short story here. But it really started over margaritas one night with some friends.
Yes, my brother had had a heart attack at 35 the year before, thankfully recovered. Oh. And then not too long before this night of margaritas and deep discussion, a good friend of ours had a brain aneurysm. Both of these people were in their 30s, and at the time we were 37. And we looked at each other and said, holy crap, all of the plans that we've made might not come to fruition.
Yeah, so we decided we would actually change our lives. We had some margaritas and some conversations with friends, and the question came up, what would you do if you wouldn't live until 40?
How would you change your life today?
And we looked at each other and said, we would travel.
That kind of begs the question, how you guys really did it. You said that by the next day you made this decision, and a lot of other people go through trauma, they go through these kinds of things, and they say we're going to make a change, and they might really be serious about it for a week or so, but then fear gets in the way and life gets in the way, and it just seems impossible. What was different for you guys? What did you guys do to really take this leap?
I think what helped us is that we had already been on a path to make small life changes to create the life that we wanted. We had already moved from Boston to Seattle to have a different lifestyle. We had already downsized some of our possessions. We were actively working to make our life fit more into what we wanted. So I think that little that direction helped us see that we could continue it in an even bigger way. I don't know if we had never started doing those things if we would have stuck with it.
Yeah, looking back, it's easier to connect the dots. You know, I think that's what Steve Jobs would say, has said in the past, is you can look back at your life. And so there were these inflection points that had existed. We moved to Boston, sight unseen, the day we made the decision, the day before we got married, actually. Had never been there, but decided it was the right decision. That was a big leap for us. And then once there, we decided to move to Seattle again and change our lives rather significantly. These changes all kind of set us up where we were moving towards something without knowing what it was. Once it presented itself, we were already in the position to take advantage of it.
And people want to do a variety of things. And one of the things that we write about on Married with Luggage is how to achieve dreams, the practical aspects of achieving a dream, whether it's traveling around the world, starting a business, writing a book, running a marathon, whatever those big dreams are that you have in your life, there is a practical approach to get there. And that's what we write about at Married with Luggage.
Right. And so, because for you guys, a big part of your dream was travel, and it's what you're doing. But just like you're saying, for a lot of people, they have other dreams and passions, so you're kind of broader, just trying to help people reach their tipping point and get to this place where they actually make a change.
Right, so we want to help them define and answer the question of, what if you don't know what you want to do with your life? So what if you don't know what that dream is? You don't know, you're not fitting in perfectly with your current life. You know you want to do something different. So what is it you want to do? What are the steps you can take to make that happen? And then how do you make that change, that transition? That's really what we do and what we talk about each and every day on the site.
And so now, from all of this, you've written several books, and you're just getting close to releasing your second edition of Dream, Save, Do. And this sounds like this book sort of encapsulates all of this and kind of helps people, give them the tools of how to figure out their dream, save to do it, and then do it. Am I right? Like, how are you?
Well, it's really about putting together the emotional, financial, and social resources to make your dream happen. Because it's one thing to save the money, but if you don't have the support in your life to get it done, if you aren't emotionally ready to make it happen, it doesn't matter if you have $1 million in the bank. Likewise, if you have the support of your family and friends, but you don't necessarily have any money. So it all goes together, and it's important to think of all three aspects whenever you're getting ready to make a big change in your life. And we talk about all of those in the book.
And we go through the process of defining and codifying your dream. So saying that you want to travel is one thing, but saying exactly where you want to travel, when you want to leave, how much you want to spend every day. Those types of information is what will take it from this intangible to, I want to travel someday, to making someday with a practical date, putting specific steps in place that you can make it happen, and then start working towards it. So it is a practical guide. It is not inspirational just to say, ooh, I hope I can go travel one day, and tell you all the ways and how neat it would be.
Yeah, we actually teach people how to put a price tag on their dream, which is something that most people have never done. They just assume it's out of reach. And we actually go about pricing it out.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's so true for a lot of people, even myself included. Before I sort of reached this tipping point, as a lot of us now have, it was so exciting to dream about this thing, but it was so intangible. I didn't even know what shape it would take. It was just I wanted to somehow travel. I never thought that would mean traveling around the world or such a long-term trip. I saved articles on living abroad and buying real estate abroad or working abroad. Oh, if only my TV station will send me someday to Rome, or if only some other force would like make it happen so I felt secure enough. And then there was just also kind of in my life, like things came together where finally some sort of light appeared, oh, I can do this. And then some of the logistics are fun for me. I'm kind of a planner type anyway. So once that final tipping point, the rest was like just confirming that this was something I was going to do. And it's just like snowballed from there.
I think the hardest part is making the decision.
Right.
After that, all the questions that you have and all the doubts, they just somehow resolve themselves one way or another as you're going along.
But I think that you have to reach that tipping point, and it's not an epiphany. And I think that's what most of us realize afterwards, is that people are waiting for this moment that a light bulb comes on. But you have to start setting your life up in a certain way that says, I'm gonna get rid of things that are no longer working for me, whether that is stuff around your house, or that is relationships that are holding you back, or that's a job that you no longer fit in. By getting rid of those things, you start to open yourself up to new opportunities. And so you're setting yourself up. It is a process, and one day it will happen, and you will be surprised that it happened, because you'll be looking back upon that moment.
You mentioned stuff, so I read you have another book called Getting Rid of It, which totally speaks to me because I love getting rid of stuff. I'm a purger, and before I left, obviously I was getting rid of stuff, and even when I returned and still had some things, I was even more so wanting to get rid of even more things, even though I was coming back to nest or have a place. I don't want a lot of things weighing me down in case I want to leave again, or, and I love Craigslist as well, and getting rid of lots of stuff. I even also have a list of like everything I've sold, and like it's a wonderful tool. So that's another, so you're providing all of these little tools for people in your several books on how to kind of do all the parts of this to kind of change your life to fit more of what you want.
Right, and so you and Warren are in alignment in this whole getting rid of everything. I have to be the one, the counter to the argument and say, I'm a pack rat, and I liked my stuff a lot, which is why I think the book is so effective for people, because you have this guy who's, organized in his sleep, and me who didn't want to get rid of anything. And so it again, just like Dreams They Do, the process is emotional, social, and financial, and I had to get my head wrapped around it, and now, of course, I live out of a backpack, so I obviously got over it.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for being part of this. I really appreciate it. And happy travels.
Thank you very much, Lisa. We appreciate it.